All right, everybody, we are going to get started. Got a small little group here tonight, but that's nice because this is my first time doing this in I don't know how long. So I'm really nervous, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of you know, or probably know, that me and my family have been through a heck of a time the last couple of months. So this workshop tonight hits home for me of I want you guys to be able to leave here tonight with some simple, easy tips, tricks that you can take home, implement yourself, and then teach a younger generation. I think it's safe to say that we all know that the U.S. is trending in the wrong direction. It's pretty crazy to think about, but cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity are now the 70% cause 70% of all deaths in the United States. And that's just kind of mind-blowing because countless studies have shown us that simply proper nutrition and exercise can prevent those. I say it's crazy to think about, but then at the same time, it's not, because when we think about the US, we're kind of lazy. I mean, I'll say it. We look for that quick fix, unfortunately. And it's in the form of medication and surgeries. But we know that that doesn't actually fix the problem, it just puts a Band-Aid on it. And so those lifestyle choices that we're making of not preventing these diseases, but just living in a society that manages them is leading to the downfall of our health system. And because of that, we are now seeing that downfall in our kids. And so in the last 30 years, and just so you guys know, I'm going to age myself, I am 30 years old. So in my lifetime, obesity rates have doubled for adults, tripled for children, and quadrupled for adolescents. So that is now making 17% of our children and teens obese, and 32% are overweight. And it's all coming down to those lifestyle choices that we are choosing to make, again, of managing the disease instead of simply trying to prevent it with simple acts of nutrition and exercise. And so what we're seeing now is kids with adult conditions. On that sheet of paper that you guys have in front of you, it has some pretty scary statistics on the back of how our health is affecting the U.S. like financially, but then at the very bottom there's statistics of how many kids are affected by these adult conditions in the United States. It's pretty crazy to see, and it's all because of those lifestyle choices that we're making. And I'm going to repeat that a lot because I want it beaten into you that is simple lifestyle changes is all you have to do to help prevent this from continuing. And so 14% of kids are getting, or 14% of kids' daily calories are coming from fast food. It's estimated that 30 gallons of sugary drinks are consumed by kids every year. 30 gallons. Like, I can't even comprehend how much that is. And then less than 22% of kids are getting one serving of vegetables every single day. And so what do we do about this? I've already said it multiple times, lifestyle changes. And it's simple. It's in the form of what we try to teach you at Freedom Chiropractic every single day of implementing nutrition, mindset, exercise, eliminating those toxins, and most importantly, taking care of your nervous system. And so the solution, when it comes down to it, it's you. It's each and every one of you. Kids learn by seeing, and they learn by observing the habits of others. And so it's really important for you not to just tell your kids, your grandkids, your niece, your nephews, any child that is in your life, however they're related to you, it's important for you not just to tell them, hey, no, you shouldn't eat this, you should eat this instead, but live by example. Like, do it with them, make it fun. It will make all the difference in the world. And so that's the big theme tonight I want you guys to take away is whatever you are learning, don't just tell your kids to do this, do it with them, because it's going to make you healthy and it's going to help them be healthy, and then hopefully they take those healthy habits into adulthood with them, and then they're a healthy adult instead of a sick adult. And then that way we are hopefully turning around that trend in the United States that we're seeing right now. So we're going to get started with nutrition. This is probably the hardest one, and I understand that. Kids are hard when it comes to nutrition. They're picky eaters, but again, they learn when, what, and how much they want to eat by observing the habits of others. And so again, not simply saying, hey, no, you need to eat your vegetables because I said so. That's not going to cut it. It doesn't work. It didn't work for me. I know it's not going to work for my child. I have to implement those habits in myself so that she sees me and my husband doing those habits, and then she'll grow up with them thinking, hey, this is the norm. This is what we need to do. And so, sorry, where are we at? Yes. All right. So 36% of children consume fast food every single day. 45% eat no fruit whatsoever, and then 20% get that less than one serving of vegetables every single day. And if given the choice between a donut and an apple, they're going to choose the donut. I would choose the donut. I'll be honest with you. And it's okay. It's okay to choose that donut every now and then, but teach them, hey, we don't want to do this all the time, not every single day. This is a treat. We want to prioritize carbs, proteins, and fats in a healthy way. So I recommend getting them in the kitchen with you, teaching them about what those macros are, teaching them what a healthy diet looks like. If you have no idea what that looks like and you're learning for yourself, reach out to us. We'll help you get started. I honestly would recommend buying a keto book, not because your kids should do keto, because they shouldn't, but because that's going to emphasize healthy fats and proteins, and then you can add in the healthy whole grain wheats to go with it. And so they're getting that nice balance of foods. Emphasize fruit snacks, fruit as a snack, not fruit snacks, fruit as a snack in the morning, and then a veggie snack in the afternoon. And again, get them involved in the kitchen with you. Let them be a part of that process of cooking meals, make it fun, and they're going to learn those healthy habits through doing and learning with you. Any questions there? No? Okay, great. Yes, oh yeah, and then those choices that we want. So like I said, kids need a variety of all those macros. So we want healthy fats, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, grass-fed, and organic meats. Again, a keto book is a great way to get started and then add in those healthy carbs. So they're not doing keto, I'm not saying that. Add in the healthy carbs to go with it, but that keto book is going to help you emphasize those healthy fats. And then, as always, supplementation is super important. We are not going to get all of the nutrients that we need simply from our diet, especially with kids, because they need such a variety of everything, and kids are picky eaters. So for those kids that are picky eaters, these two supplements are going to go a long way. The probiotic is going to help with immunity and gut health, and then they have the multivitamin, which is going to help for that overall health and development of the child. We also have, in the office, we carry BioRay, and so we have a couple specific ones for that, so make sure to take a look at those before you leave today. But I always recommend these two supplements for all kids, just like we recommend the Core 4 for all of our adults. It just helps fill in those nutritional gaps. So, next, puberty. Lovely. I have several years before I have to deal with this with Mia, but it's important to understand what's actually going on during puberty. This is a time where there is rapid growth, there's brain development happening, and then the final maturity of several organs in the body. So nutrition is extra important during this time. It's just like with Mia, with babies right now, they eat a lot because they are growing very, very quickly. Same thing for our children going from childhood to adulthood through puberty. They're growing very quickly. It's crazy because I was gone for 3 months, 4 months, something like that. And I remember seeing some of the young kids in the office, and then I came back 4 months later, and all of a sudden they're taller than me. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I was only gone for a short period of time. And so they shot up like weeds. And so the proper nutrition, making sure they're getting everything that they need is extra important during that time, okay? The next very important thing for, especially during puberty, but childhood in general, is movement. A sedentary lifestyle, that is what I personally think of when I think of America. We get up, we go to work where many of us sit at a desk all day long, and then we go home and we sit in front of the computer or the couch or in front of the TV, or we scroll on our phones and we just sit and we do nothing. So then next thing we know, we've been sitting all day and we've been staring at screens for 10 plus hours, which is another hard one, especially this day and age with kids, is technology and screen time. They just get glued to it and it's hard to pull them away. And so another kind of scary statistic that I learned when prepping for this workshop was, so the average child stares at a screen for 7 plus hours a day because it is in school now. I remember when I was in grad school, all of my notes, all of my tests, I was required to have an iPad because everything was on my iPad. So I spent the better part of 3.5 years staring at an iPad to learn how to help you all. I'm glad I'm past that point in my life. But they can spend 7 plus hours a day, and children that spend 7 plus hours a day staring at screens are twice as likely to develop things like anxiety and depression, unfortunately. So getting them off of that screen, but then also getting them up and moving is very, very important. That playing, that movement, that active playing is, oh, my clicker died. Okay, why don't we fix that? So that active playing, it's very important for that development. It's going to, but like physically playing outside isn't going to increase social behavior or help them learn social behavior. Oh, thank you, Kirsten. Are you just gonna sit there and click the button? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, yes, so it's gonna help them develop that social behavior, and then getting outside in the sunshine. Sunshine promotes vitamin D in the body, which is important for immunity and bone development. And then that daily exercise is just overall important for healthy weight, developing strong muscles, strong bones, sleep quality, things like that. And so the kids basically should be getting outside for 60 minutes every single day, which is hard to do. So what just happened? You good? Okay. Love it. So how do you get your kids motivated to be outside and to go play? So the big things are keep it fun, give them tons and tons of opportunities, and I think the most important aspect is to do it as a family. Be goofy, be a kid with them again. Let them run the play session, go with their ideas, play tag, do whatever it is that they think is fun, because then they're going to be more engaged and they're going to want to do it more often. And it's going to be so much easier. What is happening? Got a lot of beeps happening. Okay, thank you. All right, any questions about exercise? No? Thank you. So, with the nutrition and the exercise, like I said, you being a part of it is the best thing that you can do. Who's heard of the average of 5? One person, great. So what the average is 5 is we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So what that means is the 5 people that you spend the most time with, their habits, their lifestyle, that's what's going to rub off on you, and you're more likely to follow that. So for me, prior to having Mia, I had my husband, but then I had the Freedom Team. They're literally who I hung out with all of the time. A little less now because I'm home more often, but I still, majority of the time, hang out with them or my husband and my child. So that is a great group of people to be associated with, and lucky for you guys can be associated with us all you want. Learn from us, learn from our habits, because we're right in it with you. And so there's one study that says that 95% of your success or failures come from the people that you habitually spend your time with. So if you want to be successful, spend your time with successful people. Spend your time with the people that are doing the things that you want to achieve. So now, household products, and then toys and plastics. So this is our toxins section of trying to eliminate that as much as possible. Going back to puberty for a second, one of the major things that people associate with puberty is hormones, right? So that's our endocrine system. And when we're going through puberty, it is up here. It is on high alert. It is trying to figure out what the heck is going on. We have hormones flowing left and right, trying to establish themselves. And so what certain household products, toys, and plastics can have are toxins known as endocrine disruptors. So these are going to be toxins that literally do what I just said. They disrupt that endocrine system. And so it's going to cause things like developmental delays, possible birth defects, just lots of bad things, basically. So trying to avoid those toxins as much as possible is the goal. When it comes to toxins, and I say this all the time, when it comes to toxins, it is impossible to completely eliminate everything from your life. They're in our food, our water, the air we breathe, the products that we use at home, but doing what you can to minimize it is going to go a long way in allowing you to continue to be healthy, and for your kids, grandkids, niece, nephews, whoever, to develop properly. And so I like to use an app called Think Dirty, and then the other great app is Yuka, Y-U-K-A. Thanks, Juan. That one's from Juan. And so these are really cool apps that you can use in the store. You can scan products that you're interested in buying, and it's going to show you their toxicity level. They also give you, hey, instead of buying this, buy this instead. When it comes to like your cleaning products, I recommend Norwex. It's a good cleaning product, clean product. And then for things like cosmetics, don't go home and completely throw out everything, because that is going to be a lot of money. Just start replacing things as you run out. So if you want to change your shampoo, find a shampoo that you want to replace your current one with, use what you have, and then replace it. It will be okay to finish out your products first. That way you're not wasting the money that you've already spent there. So with that, with the toys and plastics specifically, one, kids are putting everything in their mouth all the time, so we want to avoid those toxins. But two, they're getting introduced to germs constantly. They're little walking biohazards because they bring it home and then everyone else gets sick. But we have this fancy thing called an immune system that is there to protect us. And so we have three parts to our immune system. The first part is our innate immune system. That is the system that you are born with. It's things like your skin, like your stomach lining, the mucus lining in your airway. It's physical barriers that stop pathogens from entering your body. So that's our first line of defense. The next immune system is our passive immune system. This This is like a borrowed immune system, basically. The best example actually for it is breast milk with babies. When a baby is born, they get breast milk from mom, and they're absorbing antibodies that mom has in her body through her breast milk, and it's getting passed on to baby. So a great example of this is actually happened to me recently. So the day that we brought Mia home from the NICU, a couple hours later, my husband started feeling sick, tested positive for COVID. And I was like, cool, great. I will play single mom for the first week of having her home. It went fine. I'm still here. It was okay. I was very tired, but we're good. But during that time, my husband quarantined. We did everything that we could to avoid her getting sick, which she didn't get sick, which is great. But inevitably, I got sick, right? And she still didn't get sick. If she got sick, it was like barely anything. She may have had a little congestion, but come to find out, because I've had COVID in the past multiple times, I've been passing antibodies, yes, multiple times. I'm licking doorknobs, you guys. No. It's not as bad as Deb. Some of you remember Deb. She's had it like 8 times now. I'm not even kidding. I'm calling her out. But yeah, so I've had it multiple times, but because of that, I've been passing the antibodies for COVID through my breast milk to Mia since she's been born. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool to learn that it's been stored in my body for that long. And so she never really got sick because she was having that passive immunity through the milk. And it's just for a short period of time. It's while she's drinking that milk and continuing to have it introduced in her body. Once she stops drinking it, then eventually those antibodies are going to go away, okay? And so then the third immune system, or part of the immune system, is our adaptive immune system. This is the one that most people think about when we think of immunity. So when a pathogen, so a virus, bacteria, something foreign, gets introduced into our body, so it gets past our barriers, it's in our body, it's splitting up, it's wreaking havoc, we get sick. Eventually, our white blood cells, our immune system, catches on to what's happening. It sees that virus, it destroys it, and then it creates a wanted poster for it. And so now forever and always, there's a wanted poster posted up, and your body knows, hey, this does not belong here, and we need to attack it. So the next time that virus is introduced in your body reacts instantly. So quickly to the point that normally you're not even going to feel like you're sick. So that happens. The reason why we continue to get sick, though, is because viruses change, they evolve, and so this virus now has a hat on instead of no hat, and so it has to create a new wanted poster. And so you're going to get, there's someone trying to get him. Sorry. You're going to have a line of wanted posters just over time so that you're protected. So. Any questions there on how immunity works? No? But inevitably, kids are going to get sick. It's going to happen. But with everything that you can do of like teaching them how to wash their hands, that proper nutrition, proper exercise, getting proper supplementation if they need it, that's all going to help support that immune system, keep it nice and strong so they're getting sick less often, and then when they do get sick, they're bouncing back quicker. With that, kids bounce back quicker because they're young. They have naive leukocytes, which are white blood cells, and so they're just sitting there at the ready, waiting for anything to come along, and so their immune system is just able to respond quicker than an adult. And so again, by building that nice, healthy immune system while they're young, keeping it nice and strong, that's going to carry over into adulthood and allow them as adult to not be sick all the time. Okay? Now, with that, with everything that I've talked about tonight, none of it matters unless our nervous system is functioning the way that it's supposed to function. It is what calls all of the shots in your body. And if you have been with Freedom, you've heard this a million times. However, we are evolving. We've been evolving the last couple of years. And so what you guys are used to hearing is we should have that nice straight line, right? This guy has definitely seen better days, but we should have that nice straight line here. That pelvis should be in line with itself, and then from the side, we want those curves. We want that 45 in the neck, 45 in the back, and then the posture is important with having the head back over the shoulder. All of these bones along your spinal column here, they should move, right? They should be able to move, turn, do what they're supposed to do. When they get stuck, then the rest of the system feels it. So if we're stuck up top here, it's not going to allow things to turn properly down low, or you're not going to be able to bend forward as well. It's like a gear system. When one area gets stuck, it affects the whole thing, okay? And so that is a form of trauma, which we've talked to you guys about before. Now, with the nervous system, that is a bigger piece of all of this. That's where our focus is shifting over the last couple years when it comes to chiropractic care, is the nervous system. The structure is very important. This is there to protect that nervous system, but if the nervous system isn't functioning to begin with, then why does the structure matter, right? And so you have two halves to your nervous system. You have your sympathetic and then your parasympathetic. So sympathetic is your fight or flight response. Parasympathetic is your rest and digest. As kids, as babies, they should be living in rest, digest, recover, right? The other side is that fight or flight response. This is where we get when we're super nervous about something. So me right now, I am totally in fight or flight. If we're walking down the road and a bear pops out, it's that like that butt pucker moment of, oh no, I better get ready to run. It's when you with older children, when you're teaching your kids how to drive. Yes, it's that fight or flight response. If we're exercising, we're in fight or flight. If we are watching an intense movie, we can go into fight or flight. So it's not always bad things that put us in fight or flight. It's not always bad stresses, right? It's the part of the nervous system that is there to protect us in stressful situations, but it's not a bad thing to be over here, okay? It's very important, actually. It keeps us alive. Now, when that stressor goes away, we should be back over in rest, digest, recover. This is very, very important. We cannot be in both spots at once. And so if we are constantly stuck over here because of traumas, like your spine not moving correctly and putting pressure on your nervous system, thoughts, so mindset, we know that mindset has a huge play on our nervous system and our ability to function and heal properly. A lot of people have mental trauma in their life and they don't heal, and then we're like, hey, you need to deal with this. You need to figure out how to get past this phase of your life so that you can move on. And then the other one is the toxins, right? And so if we're constantly getting stressed out by one or more of those three things, then we can't be over here in that rest and digest area. For kids, now, they don't necessarily have aches and pains. That's not how they express that they're in fight or flight as adults. As adults, we get warning signs. We get headaches, we get pains, we get aches, we get digestion issues, we get all of these things, right? Kids don't necessarily have those things. They get things like ear infections, or being sick all the time, or musculoskeletal pain, colic, bedwetting, ADHD, ADD, just not being able to focus, like a raging bull in a china shop, basically. And that's how kids show that they're in fight or flight. So not necessarily pain. And it can be for various reasons. Kids are tiny tornadoes. They're constantly falling and jumping and running into things. And like I was doing tummy time with Mia in Kirsten's office, and she decided she was done and boom, like just hit her head on the floor. I'm like, oh no, And so like constantly having things happen to their little bodies and their nervous systems. And so it's important to know what's happening with their nervous system and are they stuck in fight or flight. So like I said, Freedom Chiropractic is making a shift. We are putting our money where our mouth is this year, and all three doctors, so myself, Dr. Will, and Dr. Jason, are doing 60 hours of continuing ed training specifically on pediatric care this year, and then we're doing 20 hours of hands-on learning how to adjust specifically for pediatric. because of this trend that we are seeing in the United States of kids are sick. And when kids are sick, they grow up to be sick adults. And so we are trying to do our part in stopping that trend. And so now your part is to act on it. The other thing that we are now implementing into our office is, how many of you have had us do a myovision scan or have heard us talk about it? One person? Only one person? Okay, well, so we had this scanner in the past that we would use on kids, pregnant women, babies, just to get an idea of what's happening with their muscle activity, which gives us an idea of structure of their spine and nervous system, but it just gave us like this little tiny glimpse. And then also when it comes to kids, x-rays only show us so much because they are moldable, right? I could take an x-ray of one kid and they're going to be like this, and then I could take an x-ray the next week and they're going to be like this. Like x-rays aren't super reliable when it comes to kids, unless they have something like a huge scoliosis. That tells us a lot. But the one thing that we did get this year is we got a whole new scanner. And this thing is awesome. It's a 3-part scan. It's going to show us, it's going to give us like a detailed look of the nervous system of what's going on. Cool part is it's not just for kids. We can also do it with adults as well. And so the last couple of weeks we have been playing with this scanner in the office. I took it home. I used it on Mia, so it's super easy to do on newborns as well. But it shows us where they're at as far as their nervous system goes. Are they stuck in fight or flight, or are they able to respond to stress appropriately? What are their muscles doing? Are their muscles overworking just to hold them up in a normal posture? What's happening as far as inflammation and their organs and things like that? So it's a super cool system. We're really excited to be able to implement it. And so for anyone here tonight, if you have not had your kids checked at the office, you guys can have a scan free of charge on all of your kids. You just have to sign up, chat with one of the ladies before you leave, get them on the schedule. Like I said, it's all about that education of actually knowing what's going on with your kids, because it's hard. It's hard to know, right, with them, because they don't have pain, right? They're just like, oh, that's normal. They fell and they got up and now they're going about life. So this scan is super cool. I highly recommend it. Like I said, you have absolutely nothing to lose. So if you have a kid in your life that you want to have checked, chat with one of the ladies. We'll get you signed up and have that checked out, okay? Any questions there?
What is the name of that scan again?
It's an insight scanner. I don't think I said it. I apologize.
Would you recommend adults do it?
Yeah, we've been practicing on, we as in the clinic have been all practicing on ourselves. So we have all gotten what it gives you a core score, and then it shows you where specifically you are, like you need to work on this area of your spine or this area of your spine. It gets very detailed on where your, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Your problem spots are. There we go, yeah. Your challenges, there we go. Yeah, it tells us where your challenges are. Dr. Will's been our guinea pig, actually, because he had a very bad score, but he's been doing fantastic. I know, I'm calling you out, I'm sorry. He's been doing fantastic about making some changes, getting adjusted actually 3 times a week, and within a week and a half, things were already like way better, right? Yeah, way better. So it's a pretty awesome system that gives us a really detailed look of what's actually happening with your nervous system. So, any other questions? No? So, action steps. Sorry, thank you. Like I said, I haven't done this for a while. I'm rusty. But yeah, so these are action steps for the night of everything that we've talked about. Educate other people, other families, like do it as a group. We're a community, right? We're all influencing our children. So if you have friends that you guys hang out with all the time, teach them, do it together, make some healthy moves. Eliminate those processed foods as much as possible. Get a nice nutrient-dense diet, nice variety there. Being aware of portion size, that's a big one. A lot of families aren't aware of portion size, so that is actually a really easy place to start, is simply looking up, okay, what is a portion size of protein? What is a portion size of veggies, fruits, carbs, all of that. So truly understanding it, and again, teaching your kids that so that they understand this is what an actual portion size is. So like cereal, for example, a serving is a cup of like 1 cup instead of just dumping into the bowls full, right? So understanding things like that, and then getting them outside every day, and the 2 hours before bedtime, or eliminating that screen time 2 hours before bedtime is a big one. And so that is actually going to go into, we'll come back to that one, our challenge. So how many of you guys have seen our posts and our videos about our challenges for the year? 2 people, 3 people, 4? Okay. So you guys need to get online a little bit more. As I tell you to eliminate your screen time, look at your screens. No. Okay, so this year, again, we're making a change. We've decided that after every time we do a workshop, we're going to implement a challenge to go along with it, because I want you guys to actually go home and implement something that you learn. Don't just come here, take notes, and then whatever you do with your notes, I don't know, but never look at them again, but actually implement it. So this year's this quarter's challenge is reducing screen time. Okay, so no screens 2 hours before bedtime, whatever that means to you guys. Dr. Jason's like, I said 7 o'clock, and then he's like, I can't do that. And I'm like, fine, whatever, 2 hours before you go to bed, no screen times. Because we as a clinic, we're gonna be doing these challenges with you. And so on Facebook, we have created a challenge page. Who was a part of that 10,000 step challenge page that we did last year? 1 person? 2? You guys don't count. 1 person. Okay. So last year, we did a 10,000 step challenge where every day, for a week, we challenge you guys to do 10,000 steps. We have turned that page into our Freedom Chiropractic Challenge page. So get linked into that so that you can be a part of it. That's where we're going to be posting things. We're going to be, like I said, the Freedom team is going to be involved in the challenges as well. We'll show you what we're doing for these challenges. You guys can post the challenges. So part of what I'd like you guys to do is get on there and post pictures of how you are spending this 2 hours with your family or with your spouse, or if you're by yourself, how are you spending that time to eliminate that screen time before bed. Some ideas, you can read a book, you can play some board games, go for an after dinner walk, tell us about your bedtime routine, which should not be in front of a screen. If you guys saw my post about what to do before bed or what not to do before bed, see, I'm telling you guys gotta do this. And so get involved with that. I really hope you guys take the initiative, because we're gonna have a lot of fun on this page. Like I said, we're all gonna be involved, we're all gonna hold each other accountable. And so that is our first challenge, okay? Any questions about the challenge?
Just for clarity, what are screens? What do you define as a screen?
TV, phones, computer games, so computer, tablets. I will allow Kindle, because I'm guessing that's what you're asking about. I will allow a Kindle, but I would prefer to be one of those, the paper white ones that don't have the blue light. That's basically the big thing that we're trying to avoid here, is the blue light, because it messes up your circadian rhythm. So does that make sense? Any other questions? Yes, Kirsten?
How can we join the Facebook group?
That's a great question.
Go to the Freedom Facebook group, and then we posted today the individual group that you can join, the challenge group. So that's where you can find it.
Yes.
You've got to do it tomorrow now, but because it'll be too close to bedtime tonight.
Yeah, don't do it tonight, because it's too close to bedtime. And when you take, I will allow, this is the other thing, I will allow a short moment for a phone to take a picture of what your family is doing. But then the phone goes away, okay? Short moment to be like, hey, we are playing a game or whatever. So yeah, those are your exceptions, okay? So upcoming events, we have scans for any kids, so anyone that you guys want to get scanned, like I said, it's at no charge, so take advantage of that. It's normally $79. We have our annual Valens Spines coming up. For those that have been around for a couple years, you guys know what that is. It's our annual spreading love to our community. So again, it's just inviting people into our office to have them get checked out, see what's going on with their spine, see what's going on with their nervous system so that they can be happy and healthy as well. So keep a lookout for that in the office. And then, yes, follow our challenge group. That's the big one. I'm really pushing the challenge group, you guys. I want you to be a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes. That's it. We did it. Any final questions about anything? No? Cool. All right.
About immunity.
Yes.
I got COVID a year ago.
Yep.
No big deal
Yep.
at all. Lost my sense of taste and smell. It came back. I got it again in October, and there was one day that it just threw me for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
If I already had the immunity,
So,
was it a different variation?
Yep, it's a different variation. That is most likely the cause. So yeah, once a virus evolves and changes, it's going to affect your body differently. It's essentially, I just think of it as a separate virus. Like, it's the same virus, it's just separate at this point. So whatever that new variation was, it just attacked you differently than it did previous. So, and I had the same thing where the very first time I got COVID, we thought I was dying, and I got COVID before COVID was a thing. We're pretty sure it was COVID. It was like 2 months later, then COVID was a thing, so we're like, I had COVID. But I had all of the things, like the bilateral eye infections, ear infections, everything. The next time I got it, it wasn't that bad. I think the time after that, it was bad again, and then this last time wasn't that bad at all. So it's just kind of different variations are going to have different effects on you personally, but then they're also going to have different effects on individuals as well.
What would you recommend as far as any supplements? I mean, I know I was doing extra.
For COVID specifically, or just for immunity?
Well, anything. I mean, and I'm trying to remember what it was, and I got it here. It was extra strength, something or other.
Extra strength.
It was like a super thing to keep you, if you were to get it, it wouldn't be quite that bad.
I'm trying to think of what that would be.
Is it zinc?
Yeah, yes, it was zinc. Yes, yep, zinc's a big one. C's the big one, vitamin D, and then, yeah, those are the three. Huh? Oh yeah, the oregano. That one's just in general for immunity. But the zinc and the C were big. So the zinc specifically for COVID, because that zinc has a big play on your taste and your smell receptors, and so that can help reduce that symptom, hopefully, because I hear it sucks. And then, yeah, the other ones were just in general for immunity. So.
On the zinc, though, is there a set limit where you shouldn't go above that? Because my husband had a coworker's wife lost her sense of taste permanently, smell, taste, by having too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't go over the daily limit. That's what I would recommend. So, which I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look that up.
Be aware.
Yes, you can overdo any supplement, like anything. It's unlikely for you to overdo supplements, but you can overdo it. So don't go crazy. Don't go ham on them. So. Any other questions? Yeah.
Okay, my immunity really sucks. And my lung doctor, he would have a fit if he knew I was here. Because he keeps putting me on this restriction. I can't go anywhere. I can't see anybody because people get near me and I get.
Yeah.
How can I boost it? I'm trying everything I can think of. I take multiple and a lot of supplements just to get
You're a special case, Frida. Just from me knowing like your history and everything, yes, I'll talk to you about that separately.
Okay.
Instead of in front of everyone. So, yes. Any other questions? No? Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We have supplements over here if you guys need anything, they are 10% off, 15% off bundles. We only do that here. We have Orange Theory out there. They're a fantastic way to get healthy and get moving. I'm doing their transformation challenge right now, and I love it. No, I actually do love it. It's a lot of fun. And then, like I said, anyone interested in getting their kids checked, chat with either Caddy or Kirsten.